What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thank you so much for being here. Being subscribed if you are. If you aren't, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. And this is a pretty dark subject, but let's just go ahead and get into this conversation, guys. I hadn't talked about this, and it's been the news for the past few weeks now that this young lady who goes by the name of Jacky Oh, she unfortunately lost her life. She's a mother of 3. She was a regular on Nick Cannon's show Wild 'N Out. I've never watched Wild 'N Out one episode before, so I don't really know any of these people unless I hear about them in a news article or something like that. So I had heard the name DC Young Fly before, but never again watched anything that he's been in either. So I only know of the name because I've heard the name before in some things possibly on social media. So I don't know anything really much about him either. But being connected to Nick Cannon, who's a creator of Wild 'N Out. So I guess he's had some acting gigs and he's, I guess, a comedian. But anyway, unfortunately, she lost her life. And it's being alleged that she lost her life after receiving a mommy makeover, traveling to Miami to do so. And she is already the mother of 3, and she's only 32 years old. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about because I know that a lot of people are into plastic surgery these days and being more open about it. It's definitely not like it was back in the day where some people, they would get procedures done and they would say they didn't get anything done if somebody asked them. And you know, just it's a whole lot more open and freer now. And because it is more prevalent, there is more access to it. There are more ways to get things done, even supposedly safely, by getting credit for it, where back in the day you had to have the money to, you know, to get this stuff. But now you can go to these offices and get things financed, and people are even traveling abroad to get procedures done. And unfortunately, a lot of the stories where tragic things happen, they don't make national news. Sometimes these things don't even make local news, to be honest with you. So you really have to do your due diligence when it comes to taking that chance, because plastic surgery is no laughing matter. It's not just, oh, it's not a big deal, I'm just going to get sucked and tucked. Or, you know, like some people speak about it. Even Cardi B has made light of plastic surgery. And I never like when I hear people speaking about plastic surgery in a comical way or in a way where it's just like it's nothing. It is major, especially when you are being put to sleep. Anytime you're being put to sleep, you are risking your life. And this is what I wanted to talk about, guys. I've done commentary speaking about plastic surgery procedures on my other YouTube channel. So if you want to go and check that out, you can go to the link in the description box to go to my other YouTube channel. I have a playlist all about beauty, and I talk about things like that on there because I have had my experiences with it. But this is what I will say when it comes to plastic surgery. And actually, before I get into that, I'm going to just really speak about the allegations with regards to Jacky Oh, as well as the surgeon that she went to see. And then I'm going to get into the rest of my commentary as to what I really want to get to when it comes to this topic, okay? Because you can look and see she's obviously this, what we would call the societal standards of what people would deem as a very attractive young lady. She had 3 children, okay? And she was a cast member on the show Wild 'N Out. So obviously she felt the pressures of having to look a certain type of way, having multiple children, not looking like she did. You know, it's that snapback culture that you hear people talking about after someone's had a baby and then they're doing a selfie of themselves on social media and people are like, oh my gosh, she got her snap back quickly and whatever. That's not realistic. Everybody's body is so different. And then for the pressures that it puts out there for celebrities who do that type of stuff, whether their snapback was natural or not, which for most of them it's not, because the body just doesn't really work that way. I'm just saying, because I'm a small person. I've always been a small, petite person by nature, just in my genetics. And I've only had one child in my lifetime, and he completely just like, it was invasion of the body snatchers. He just took over my body, and my body was never the same. I was still a small frame person, but the areas that he stretched out. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't keep having kids, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying. But she had this elective procedure done with this doctor who goes by the name of Dr. Zach, okay? And he is a plastic surgeon in Miami. It's being reported that he was not board certified. He was only board eligible to practice plastic surgery in the specialty that he was focusing on. And it's also rumored that she was offered a free mommy makeover with Dr. Zach in return for promoting him on social media. So she did do a social media post where she was in a picture with him in her hospital attire, getting ready to get prepped for the procedure. She said, "Getting ready for my mommy makeover with Dr. Zach. Stay tuned to my YouTube for the full reveal." And that was captured by Hollywood Unlocked. She was in the post with him. She's in the hospital gown. She is smiling. She looks good, and the doctor's there. And that post that she did, it had gotten well over 20,000 likes. So do you know how much exposure that is for the doctor? So it's being reported that post has since been taken down. And not just that post, but a lot of other things. It's being reported that has been taken down from his social media. Like, he's pretty much scrubbed his social media of things regarding her and on his Instagram page. And it's like, if you don't have anything to hide, why are you removing it? How is that benefiting the family? That's something to cover your own ass, okay? So it's also reported that Page 6 has shown that he has sued past patients for defamation of character. Now, the lawsuits were dropped by him. He dismissed them, but he sued past patients for making statements on review sites about him. So all of this stuff is a public record. And I know that you have to kind of really dig into all of that to figure out how far you're going to go when it comes to doing the research about a plastic surgeon that you are considering having procedures done with. A lot of times referrals are great, to be honest with you, and firsthand referrals when someone you know personally went to someone that you are considering. But that still doesn't mean that things are going to work out for you in the way that it worked out for that person, because each person is their own individual. So this is what I wanted to say that I don't think a lot of people really talk about when it comes to plastic surgery. Because as this guy did, he allegedly, it's being reported, offered her a free mommy makeover in exchange for promoting his services and the work that she got done and showing people the before and afters on her own social media. Unfortunately, the after is she lost her life. I don't know if the family plans on taking litigation up with him, but I actually am not doubting that there will be some sort of medical malpractice procedure filed against him. And to be honest with you, medical malpractice, it's not an easy win, but when you can more than likely connect the dots, the likelihood that it will even get to a court without it being settled out of court, you more likely than not will be able to get that. But if that doctor feels that they in no way were responsible for it, then they would usually allow it to go to court because they have insurance in place for that. So yeah, you're suing the doctor, but essentially you're suing the insurance company that is covering them. Just like if you get in a car accident and you are injured, yeah, you are technically suing that individual that hit you, but you're really suing the insurance company because they're usually the ones that have the money. Unless you are by chance hit by somebody who is an extremely famous person that happens to be behind the wheel and they're stupidly driving under the influence or whatever, then yeah, that's the times when they will literally go and sue that person for like $20 million. Okay. But listen, when it comes to plastic surgery, and this is something that I just want to get into when it comes to that, just like this surgeon offered her free services in exchange for her promoting his services, you really have to know that they have you sign all of these papers and these waivers and things like that. And they say that you can't have these different health conditions and issues and whatever, but they don't require you to have a full medical screening before you come to them to get a plastic surgery procedure done, from the least to the largest. And when you're being put under, you're more at risk. You're at risk either way, but especially when you're being put under, because you could possibly not get up. Now, she did get up, obviously, because they found her unresponsive in a hotel room and she didn't have the procedure done in a hotel. But these surgeons, most of them, I'm not going to speak for every single one of them, they don't require that you have a full medical screening before you go under, before you have a procedure done with them. You really have to make sure that you're looking out for your own health when it comes to that, because honestly, and it is unfortunate because they are doctors at the end of it all. Yeah, their focus is on whatever they're doing for you for that procedure, but ultimately they're medical doctors, and their goal and focus should be your overall health, not just making sure that your butt is sitting up right and tight or your boobs are perfectly, fitting that look that you are going for. It's supposed to be about more than that, because if you have this perfect body, but your health is traumatized, then what good is it, So the mommy makeover, I don't know what that all was going to consist of, because most mommy makeovers consist of getting breast lift and implants, getting a abdominoplasty, which is a tummy tuck, layman's terms. But I don't know if they include getting a BBL in that. I don't know if that's something that she was done, or, and sometimes liposuction is needed for an abdominoplasty. I've had an abdominoplasty before, and I won't go into all of the details about that. I have plenty of content about that on my other YouTube channel, so you can go there and check it out. Subscribe while you're over there as well. But I didn't have any procedures done until my son was in his early 20s. So I went through my life pretty much dealing with my body the way that it was. And my husband had no complaints. I didn't do it for him. I did it for myself. I feel that a lot of people like the Jacky Ohs. Unfortunately, they do it for the societal pressures because of the type of career that she had, where she was on this television show where these wild and out girls, I guess they wear the scantily clad outfits and they have to show off their body. And then she was an Instagram influencer, I guess, as well. So you're doing the photo shoots where your back is facing the camera and then you turn your head to face the camera, so your back and your butt is what is basically being shown, or the side boobs or whatever. And so you have to fit that standard that a lot of people are looking for, and you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin after you have a baby because your baby has taken over. So to be honest with you, it really isn't even supposed to be about you after you have a baby, because your baby is really supposed to be your focus. Now, she didn't have a baby a couple of months she didn't have a baby a couple of months before she went in for the procedure. They said that she had the baby last year. So it wasn't like it was yesterday. I'm not saying that anyone needs to wait as long as I did, but I went through so many different consultations before I really made the decision to move forward and do it. And I was scared. I didn't want to do it, but it wasn't like I was like, yay, I get to have plastic surgery. It wasn't something that I was celebrating. I don't have any regrets for moving forward to get the few procedures done that I did get done. But it was a lot of time that went by in me considering and weighing the pros and cons of doing that. Some people choose to never get anything done, and that's their right as well. But you have to make sure that your health is the most important focus. And a lot of these people who go for these plastic surgery procedures, they may have never even went to a medical doctor to get a full-on exam and physical. That might sound crazy, but it actually is true. So I don't know if she did or not. I don't know if she got a BBL. I don't know all of the procedures that she got done. It's being alleged that she went for a mommy makeover, and mommy makeovers usually do not include a BBL. And that would be a lot to do breast augmentation, an abdominoplasty, vaginal rejuvenation, and a Brazilian butt lift all in one full swoop. If she had all of those things done, then I would not be surprised why she unfortunately lost her life, because that's really, really extreme. But again, that's what's being alleged, because I've seen some places where it said that she went for a free mommy makeover, and I've seen some other things that said that she also got vaginal rejuvenation, and they're also speaking about BBL. So I don't know if she got all of those things done in one full swoop, but if she did, I wouldn't be surprised if she lost her life. And she shouldn't have been in a hotel. She should have been in some sort of medical facility where nurses are watching over her. But again, if she was having all of those things done, she should have had a physical with a medical doctor done prior to that, to see if she would be a good candidate for getting these procedures done. And the plastic surgeons, they're not going to request you to show them documentation from a medical doctor to show that you actually had a physical. I'm not saying they don't care, but that really isn't their focus. So you have to really care about your own health. And, you know, those pressures of having to look a certain way. There was a clip that was put out there where her baby's dad, who she had 3 kids with, this is something that was recorded, I don't know when, but it was something that he said out of his mouth, where he was speaking about girls with stretch marks and you know, and how they look after they have kids, how their bodies have changed and stuff like that, which isn't cool, which is an extremely immature thing to do. It's like, how can a woman have any control over what happens to their body after they have kids, you know? And unfortunately, when you have people who do have children, when they're putting every body part out there for the world to see, where they don't have a stretch mark, where nothing looks like it's been stretched out, there are no marks, there's like no even traces or remnants of it looking like they ever had children, Kim Kardashian, you know, it puts pressure on other women who don't look like that after they have just 1 kid. And here you've got Kim Kardashian, who had 4. Now, even with this young lady, and it looks like she's had some procedures done before, so I don't think this was her first rodeo. I'm assuming, I don't know, but she had 3 kids. There are some people that would have loved to have looked like she did after they had 1 child. So just imagine the pressures that she had on her because of being with a man like she was with and being in the industry like she chose to be in. This girl did not have to lose her life, but unfortunately, I don't believe that she did her due diligence when it comes to her prior health screenings. And I'm not here to bash her. I'm speaking, when I speak about this, I'm speaking because it's to hopefully help somebody else and prevent them from making the same decisions in the future. Because when things like this happen, you're supposed to use them as learning lessons and teachable moments. It's not to bash or criticize the person that went through what they went through, because what's done is done. You can't take it back. And unfortunately, her life is gone. And there have been too many other people who have lost their lives over things that really they should have still been here. They really didn't have to lose their lives. I don't know if she did any of the background history or research on this guy, but you have to look at reviews. When I went for my procedure, trust and believe, I was digging and I was doing my research and I was looking at reviews. Now, myself also being a former legal assistant and also working for an attorney who handled medical malpractice cases, and I used to see some of those images, that I'll be honest with you, that was one of the things that held me back even longer from proceeding and getting anything done, because it just kind of scared me off. But I knew that there were people out there that did not mutilate people and didn't, operate unethically like it's alleged that this plastic surgeon was, where he was going online and looking at negative reviews that people were leaving about him and suing those people. Like, what kind of character do you have as a medical profession to sue someone for a negative review based on their own personal experience that they can attest to? And they chose to not sue you, but they choose to try to warn other people, and you wanted to shut them down, shut them up. You didn't proceed with the litigation, but you filed it to kind of scare them and shut them up, So in my mind, I would think, in my personal opinion, that someone like that definitely would not be someone that I would be going to or recommending anyone else go to. But I don't think that she did her due diligence in doing the research. You have to do your research, and you have to not just ask for, or not just ask for it. You can't just look at the pictures that they have on the website, because sometimes the pictures that they have on the website may not even be of their own work. Listen, it happens. It does definitely happen. You just have to really do your due diligence. And I don't know who she had with her to take care of her, because she traveled to another state and she was staying in what was being reported a Homewood Suites hotel. I don't know. I don't know how someone could travel to another state for a mommy makeover and be staying in a hotel. It seems like they should have had some sort of aftercare facility that they would have this person go to, because it seems like a Homewood Suites hotel, it's a little bit too commercial for that. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. I've never traveled out of the state or traveled anywhere, far to have a procedure done. So I don't really know, but I've heard of people that have, and a lot of times they will have an aftercare facility for these people to stay in. If not for a few days, at least it would be for a week or maybe even more. It just depends. So I don't know. I feel for her family. She's unfortunately no longer here, so there's nothing that we can do about that. But a lot of people don't speak about the fact that these plastic surgeons, a lot of them, I can't speak for every single one because everybody's practice is different, right? But I know for myself, and I've, known from just other experiences of other people, they're not requesting you go and get a medical exam and show proof that you have been cleared for a procedure to get done. They just have you sign all of these waivers and all of this paperwork to say that, you don't hold us responsible. This can happen, that can happen, yada, yada, yada. It is suggested that you be cleared, but they don't request you show them proof. I feel that would actually be to their benefit. It could actually help to hold them less liable if they say, well, we did request that they get clearance and proof that they were cleared for these procedures by their medical doctor, and we have that. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I would assume some would, but again, I don't think a lot of them do. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk about, as well as the fact that some of these people, they just do things too soon and too much. Her youngest child, youngest of 3, had only been born about a year ago, is what is being reported. Like I said, I don't judge anyone for doing things for them to make them feel better in their own body, to feel more comfortable in their own skin, to fit their clothing better. I know the reasons why I did the procedures that I have done. But again, not judging, but I'm just speaking for my own self. I waited a long time before I got anything done. These young ladies that are doing these things, I feel like they're just doing too much too soon. And hey, I was in my early 30s when I did what I did too, but I had my only child when I was really young. So I still waited a long time. Maybe for someone like her who was, I guess, 32 or 33 at that time when she passed away, maybe she felt like doing it later, it would be useless because she felt like she would be too old because of being in the industry that she's in. Sometimes they look at even being in your early 30s as older, or like some people say hitting the wall, which I feel is absolutely ridiculous. I just feel that more needs to be speaking about this subject when it comes to things like this, because I know that nothing's really going to change. You're going to still hear stories about people unfortunately losing their lives. But if somebody can take heed and take the advice and think about things differently, move differently, wait a little bit longer, not do some things that they feel like they need to do. The BBL, listen, it's one of those procedures I've spoken about that I've said that I would never get done. And I'm perfectly okay with the booty that I got. But I know some people are not. And I know some people, they've had the procedures done and it has worked well for them. But it's one of the most dangerous procedures to do. And you've got these chop shop places that are doing them on the regular very, very frequently. And then we also know that there are people that are going to back alleys and hotel rooms and facilities that are not medical facilities to get shot up with product that should not even be put in their body just for the sake of having a ridiculously crazy round, but no hip dips or anything like that. It just looks crazy. And then a lot of these things like that, they're trendy. I don't believe any type of medical procedure should be on trend or a trendy thing to do, because this is your body. Like, are you going to keep going back and forth? Like, well, now, big butts are in, and then later smaller butts are going to be in. So are you going to go and get it reduced? I mean, I'm just saying you have to be really careful when it comes to that. When it came to myself, I'll just speak a little bit here, but you can go and watch that content on my other YouTube channel. When I discussed having a breast lift done, I only did the augmentation just simply because I had to hold the shape, because the breasts had been stretched out and the volume needed to be filled back up, because I already was larger before I had even gotten pregnant. So, when you get pregnant, some areas of your body grow more than others. That happened to be one of the areas that grew a little bit more, not a ton, but it grew a little bit more. And so that was the only reason why I even did the augmentation. I only really wanted the lift, but after having several consultations, they all pretty much said the same thing. But I did it where it was proportional to what I already was and proportional to my size. I wasn't getting a certain size because, well, this is what's in today. I would never, ever recommend anybody get anything like that done and basing it off of what is in. You do it based off of what is going to look right and feel right for you. But again, like I said, I just wanted to talk about this when it comes to what people don't really talk about. And people don't really talk about the fact that a lot of these plastic surgeons are not requiring people to have a health screening by a medical doctor prior to getting these procedures done. Because a lot of them, to be honest with you, they don't really care, but they should, because you're putting someone's life in your hands, and just simply having people sign these waiver and release forms doesn't mean that you're off the hook. It doesn't stop you from getting sued, and it doesn't stop you from having your license rescinded. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen with this plastic surgeon. It's been reported that he was not even board certified. These are things that you really have to do your due diligence with. See if they're board certified. See how many procedures that do they have under their belt. Are they doing any and everything? You really need to be going to a specialist. You don't just go to someone that's doing any and everything, because you can't be great at everything. You have to focus. And when it comes to the body, I wouldn't go to someone who specializes in facial procedures to get a mommy makeover. I'm not saying that was the situation with him and her, but I'm just using that as an example, because they're saying that he was board eligible, but he wasn't board certified. And a lot of people don't look at that. And to get the offer for a free mommy makeover when you probably could have just waited, and I don't know. I'm just saying, I just wanted to speak about that because I really feel that this death could have been prevented. And I don't know what she was feeling like under her, under her clothes, and feeling like things weren't right and she needed to get back to who she was after a certain period of time. But I feel that it could have waited. They said she loved being a mommy. I feel if maybe she had just focused more on just loving her kids and being a mom versus focusing on her body and what she needed to look like in order for her to get back popping in her career, then things definitely could have turned out differently. I'm not here to judge. I'm just basically saying that for anyone else who is still here, who is on the side, avoid tragic situations as much as you possibly can when it comes to these medical procedures by doing your research, doing your due diligence, doing what's going to be best for your health, and making sure that you're taking care of you. Because even a plastic surgeon, unfortunately, their focus is not on your full physical health. They're focused on getting that body part or those body parts that you've come in for to get tightened and lifted and sucked. And that's the tragic thing about this situation, because it just seems like he didn't really care. Because for him to go and scrub his social media of that content, yeah, you were just about the money. And most of them are. So it's not even a surprise. But my God, like, how heartless and cruel can you be? So guys, I just wanted to talk about that. If you know someone, definitely share this content with them. I just implore people to do your due diligence, do your research, make sure that you're looking out for your own health, and wait, because it shouldn't be a rush to go and get anything done with your body after having a baby, because there's that time where you just really need to be focused on the baby anyway, but I digress. I hope you all got something from this. I was waiting to talk about this subject because I just really, when I was hearing all of the different stories, I really wanted to discuss that and what I feel a lot of people don't really focus on, and what a lot of people don't even really know, because they may not have any experience with getting a procedure done. I don't sit and promote the procedures that I've had done. I've just talked about my experiences and try to help people where that could possibly help them to make a better decision, or maybe even avoid having to even go through getting it done, So guys, thank you so much for being here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the doctor, about her, going to get something done so soon after having a child, and the possible procedures that she went to get done. What do you feel about all of that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I really hope and pray she is resting in peace. And I just wanted to keep it brief as much as possible. And this isn't a beautiful matter, but I tried to keep the topic as beautiful as possible. And now I'm going to say bye.